1 in every 2 men over 40 experiences some form of sexual performance concern at some point in his life. For some, it appears as difficulty maintaining firmness. For others, it shows up as a gradual decline in energy, morning drive, or confidence. Yet most men do not talk about it, not with their doctor, not with close friends, sometimes not even with their partner. And that silence often creates confusion, unnecessary worry, and a sense of isolation that is far more damaging than the issue itself. But here is an important truth. Your body is not breaking down. It is communicating with you. Hormones shift, circulation patterns evolve, and metabolic needs change as you move through your 50s and beyond. These changes are not a sign of weakness. They are signals. And when we understand those signals clearly, we can support the body, strengthen it, and often restore functions that feel like they have faded. In clinical practice, I see the same questions coming from men in their 50s, 60s, and 70s. Why is my drive changing? Why do erections feel less reliable? Why does my body not respond the way it used to, even though nothing obvious seems wrong? And most importantly, what can I do about it that is safe, natural, and actually supported by research? That is why today we are focusing on something both simple and clinically meaningful. 3 fruits that, according to emerging studies from institutions like the National Institutes of Health, Harvard, and Mayo Clinic, offer measurable support for circulation, endothelial health, nitric oxide production, antioxidant protection, and hormone balance. These are not miracle cures. They are not shortcuts. They are daily physiological allies that align with how the male body ages and what it needs to sustain sexual vitality, cardiovascular stability, and cellular energy. Think of this session as a private consultation where we break down what is happening inside you in a way that is clear, calm, and actionable. We will explore why these specific fruits stand out, what the research shows about their impact on blood flow and testosterone pathways, how they interact with nitric oxide signaling, and how consistent intake supports erectile function, prostate wellness, and metabolic stability. And we will go step by step in the same way I would explain this to a patient sitting across from me. If you have ever felt uncertain, overwhelmed by mixed advice online, or worried that your best days are behind you, this session is designed to give you clarity. Sexual health is not only physical, it is emotional, relational, and deeply connected to how you see yourself as a man. You deserve information that is grounded in evidence, not fear. You deserve options that feel attainable, not intimidating. And you deserve to understand your body in a way that empowers you. By the end of this consultation, you will know the science, the strategy, and the simple daily habit that strengthens your foundation from the inside out. Let us begin by laying out the key insights we will explore. As men move through their 50s and beyond, one of the most important physiological shifts happens quietly inside the blood vessels. Circulation becomes less efficient, the inner lining of the arteries becomes more vulnerable to oxidative stress, and the body produces less nitric oxide, the molecule responsible for widening blood vessels and allowing healthy blood flow. In urology, we see this every day. Erectile function is deeply tied to vascular health. When blood flow becomes sluggish, erections follow the same pattern. Here is what the research shows. A study published through the National Institutes of Health found that endothelial function, which refers to how well the blood vessel lining relaxes and contracts, begins to decline gradually after age 40 and accelerates after age 50. This is not a sudden collapse. It is a slow shift influenced by diet, stress, sleep quality, and hormonal changes. When the endothelium becomes stiff or inflamed, nitric oxide does not work as effectively. Think of nitric oxide as a key that unlocks the blood vessels. When the key becomes worn down, the lock does not respond, no matter how much you turn it. This is why men often say things like, I still feel desire, but my body is not cooperating. They can mentally feel completely normal, but physically the mechanism does not respond with the same reliability. In many cases, this is not a testosterone issue. It is a circulation issue. And what is encouraging is that circulation responds extremely well to lifestyle interventions, including specific dietary choices. Imagine your blood vessels as a series of soft, flexible highways. In your 20s, they are smooth and responsive. As you age, small cracks appear, Oxidative stress builds and the walls become less elastic. Certain fruits have been studied for their ability to support this system through natural compounds like flavonoids, polyphenols, and antioxidants. These compounds work like tiny repair agents, reducing oxidative damage, improving nitric oxide signaling, and helping the arteries remain flexible. One of the most compelling examples comes from research on pomegranate. Studies from institutions like UCLA and Mayo Clinic show that pomegranate juice and extract improve endothelial function, increase nitric oxide availability, and enhance blood flow. In clinical settings, I see this reflected in patients who incorporate these fruits consistently. Their energy improves, their stamina increases, and their sexual performance becomes more reliable, not because of dramatic hormonal changes, but because their vascular foundation is stronger. Here is the practical takeaway. When you think about improving sexual health after 50, start by thinking about your blood vessels. Erections are a circulation event. Desire is psychological, but performance is biological. Supporting your vascular system is one of the most effective and natural ways to restore confidence and stability. If this is helping bring clarity to a confusing topic, give the video a thumbs up and keep learning. In the next section, we will explore how oxidative stress affects erectile health and why the antioxidant profile of certain fruits makes a measurable difference. Oxidative stress is one of the least understood but most influential factors in male sexual performance after 50. It affects blood flow, hormone balance, stamina, and even the reliability of morning firmness. Yet most men have never been told what oxidative stress truly is or how it silently sabotages erectile function. So let us break this down in the same way I would explain it to a patient in my clinic. Oxidative stress happens when unstable molecules called free radicals accumulate faster than the body can neutralize them. In small amounts, free radicals are normal. They help with cellular signaling and immune response. But with age, stress, poor sleep, alcohol intake, or metabolic conditions like elevated blood sugar, these molecules increase to levels that damage cells. And one of the most sensitive targets is the endothelium, the inner lining of blood vessels that controls blood flow. Here is what the research shows. According to multiple studies published through PubMed and supported by cardiovascular research from Harvard and Mayo Clinic, oxidative stress directly reduces nitric oxide availability. Nitric oxide is the primary molecule responsible for relaxing penile arteries and allowing the spongy tissue to fill with blood. When oxidative stress interferes with nitric oxide, the arteries cannot relax fully and the erection loses firmness or fades quickly. Think of oxidative stress like rust forming on a metal pipe. At first, the damage is invisible, the pipe still works, but over time, the rust builds, the walls weaken, and the water flow becomes inconsistent. In the same way, oxidative stress restricts blood flow long before symptoms become noticeable. Most men do not feel it happening until erections become less predictable. This is where fruit-based antioxidants become essential. Certain fruits contain powerful polyphenols that neutralize free radicals, reduce inflammation, and protect nitric oxide from breaking down. Berries, pomegranate, and citrus fruits in particular have some of the highest antioxidant scores of any whole food. A study in the Journal of Nutrition found that diets rich in flavonoids significantly reduced erectile dysfunction risk in men over 40. These compounds help preserve the integrity of blood vessel walls, allowing them to remain flexible and responsive. Imagine antioxidants as tiny shields that protect your blood vessels from internal wear and tear. Instead of letting oxidative stress erode the system, these nutrients reinforce it, helping you maintain healthy circulation even as you age. And when circulation is protected, erectile function is protected. Here is a practical point to consider. If you want more reliable performance, do not focus only on boosting testosterone. Focus on reducing the oxidative stress that is weakening your nitric oxide pathway. 1 cup of mixed berries, half a pomegranate, or a citrus fruit daily can make a measurable difference over time. Consistency matters far more than quantity. If this insight is bringing more clarity, feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. Opening these conversations helps more men understand their bodies without shame or confusion. In the next section, we will explore how specific specific fruits influence testosterone pathways and why hormonal balance is about far more than one hormone. When most men think about sexual vitality, they think about testosterone. And while testosterone is important, the story is far more complex, especially after 50. Hormonal balance involves multiple pathways, several supporting hormones, and the way your tissues respond to those hormones. What surprises many of my patients is that certain fruits can influence these pathways through mechanisms that are subtle but clinically meaningful. Here is what the research shows. Testosterone naturally declines at a gradual rate of about 1% per year after the 30s. But the bigger shift happens in how the body processes it. Inflammation, oxidative stress, excess body fat, and poor metabolic health reduce the body's sensitivity to testosterone. It is not only about how much you have, it is also about how effectively your body can use it. This is where fruit-derived phytonutrients come into play. Polyphenols found in fruits like pomegranate, berries, and certain tropical fruits have shown measurable effects on hormonal pathways. For example, one study in the Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that pomegranate increased salivary testosterone levels in both men and women, likely due to its antioxidant effect on the adrenal glands, which support hormone production. Another study published through the National Institutes of Health found that flavonoid-rich foods were associated with higher testosterone and improved reproductive hormone profiles in aging men. Think of testosterone like a message your body is trying to send. If inflammation and oxidative stress are high, the message becomes distorted, weakened, or blocked. Antioxidants from fruit help clear that interference, allowing the signal to come through more clearly. It is not about flooding the system with hormones. It is about allowing the existing hormones to function properly. There is also another important mechanism. Certain fruits help regulate blood sugar and reduce visceral fat, the internal fat around the abdomen. Visceral fat is hormonally active. It increases aromatase activity, which converts testosterone into estrogen. This is why men with elevated abdominal fat often report decreased libido, lower morning firmness, and reduced energy. By supporting metabolic health, fruits indirectly support healthier testosterone balance. Imagine your hormonal system as a finely tuned orchestra. Testosterone is one of the louder instruments, but it cannot perform well if the other sections are out of tune. Antioxidants reduce background noise. Fiber stabilizes blood sugar. Potassium supports cellular communication. The result is a more harmonious hormonal environment where testosterone can do its job effectively. Here is the practical takeaway. You do not need extreme diets, supplements, or risky shortcuts to support hormonal balance. Small, consistent dietary changes offer the most sustainable improvement. Add one pomegranate segment, a serving of berries, or a citrus fruit daily. Over weeks and months, the effect compounds because you are supporting the entire hormonal ecosystem, not just one hormone. If this perspective is helping you understand your body more clearly, feel free to give the video a thumbs up. In the next section, we will explore how endothelial health connects to sexual performance and why daily fruit intake strengthens one of the most essential systems in the male body. Endothelial health is one of the most important pillars of male sexual performance, yet most men have never heard the term before their first appointment with a urologist. The endothelium is a thin, delicate layer of cells lining every blood vessel in your body. It regulates circulation, controls nitric oxide release, and determines how efficiently blood can travel where it needs to go. When the endothelium is healthy, erections tend to be strong, stable, and reliable. When it is compromised, even slightly, performance becomes inconsistent. Here is what the research shows. Studies from Harvard, Mayo Clinic, and the National Institutes of Health consistently demonstrate that endothelial dysfunction is one of the earliest indicators of erectile difficulties. In fact, in many cases, erectile issues appear before any symptoms of cardiovascular disease. This is because the blood vessels in the pelvis and penis are smaller and more sensitive to changes in pressure and flow. Even mild endothelial damage can significantly interrupt the process that creates an erection. Imagine the endothelium as a finely tuned control panel that manages blood flow throughout the body. In your 20s and 30s, the controls are smooth and responsive. As you age, oxidative stress, inflammation, and metabolic strain begin to interfere with the wiring. The buttons stick. The signals become faint. The system reacts more slowly. Erections require precise timing of relaxation and expansion within the blood vessels, and the endothelium orchestrates that entire sequence. This is where fruit-derived nutrients provide clinically meaningful support. Polyphenols found in pomegranate, berries, grapes, and citrus fruits enhance endothelial function by improving nitric oxide signaling, reducing inflammation, and increasing the ability of blood vessels to relax. A large-scale study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that men who consumed flavonoid-rich fruits had significantly better endothelial function and lower rates of erectile dysfunction compared to those with low intake. Picture the endothelium as a flexible, elastic layer. Over time, inflammation makes it stiff and less responsive. The nutrients in these fruits act like a restorative treatment, helping the tissue stay flexible and capable of widening when needed. When blood vessels open smoothly, blood pressure stabilizes, the heart works more efficiently, and sexual performance becomes stronger and more consistent. This is why even small daily dietary choices can make a real difference. There is also a clear connection between endothelial health and prostate wellness. When circulation in the pelvic region improves, the prostate receives better oxygenation and nutrient flow. This helps reduce inflammation, support urinary function, and enhance the overall health of the pelvic floor. Many men notice that when their pelvic circulation improves, both urinary and sexual performance follow the same positive direction. Here is your practical takeaway. Think of every fruit serving as a daily investment in the flexibility and responsiveness of your blood vessels. This is not a quick fix. It is a foundational strategy. The more consistently you support your endothelium, the more reliably your body will respond. If this explanation is helping you understand how your system works, feel free to continue engaging with the video. In the next section, we will explore how prostate function, pelvic circulation, and erectile performance are interconnected and how these fruits support all three. Many men are surprised to learn how closely the prostate, pelvic circulation, and erectile function are connected. These systems do not operate independently. They influence one another through shared blood supply, nerve pathways, hormonal signals, and inflammatory patterns. When one area becomes strained, the others often show symptoms shortly after. Understanding this connection helps make sense of why certain fruits, especially those rich in antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds, support men's health in several ways at once. Let us begin with the prostate itself. The prostate relies heavily on consistent blood flow for oxygen delivery, waste removal, and tissue repair. As men age, the combination of oxidative stress, hormonal shifts, and chronic low-grade inflammation can make the prostate more vulnerable to swelling and irritability. This swelling can press against the urethra and pelvic nerves, which affects urinary flow as well as sexual function. Many of the men I see describe a gradual pattern, such as weaker urine stream, increased nighttime urination, subtle pelvic tension, and then difficulty maintaining erections. These symptoms often travel together because they share the same underlying physiology. Here is what the research shows. Studies published through the National Institutes of Health demonstrate that diets rich in polyphenols and antioxidants are associated with lower levels of prostate inflammation and improved urinary function. Fruits like pomegranate, berries, and citrus contain compounds that reduce inflammatory markers inside the prostate tissue. One study on pomegranate extract found significant reductions in oxidative stress within the prostate, which is helpful because oxidative stress is one of the early triggers of prostate enlargement and discomfort. Imagine the pelvis as a crossroads where blood vessels, nerves, and organs all meet. When circulation improves, everything in that region becomes more stable. The prostate receives better nourishment, the pelvic floor muscles relax more easily, and the nerves that control erections transmit signals more clearly. Improved blood flow to the pelvis also enhances the efficiency of the spongy erectile tissue, which depends on fast, unblocked circulation to fill and expand. There's another important connection. Chronic inflammation in the pelvis can heighten nerve sensitivity, which may create tension in the pelvic floor muscles. Tension restricts blood flow and disrupts sexual function. Polyphenols found in fruits help reduce this inflammatory load. They act like small extinguishers that cool down internal irritation, making it easier for the muscles and nerves to operate normally. Think of the prostate and pelvic floor like a neighborhood. If one house catches fire, the entire block becomes affected. affected. But when inflammation goes down and circulation rises, the whole neighborhood calms, repairs, and functions more harmoniously. Here is a practical takeaway. Adding these fruits to your daily routine supports sexual performance not only through blood flow, but through the pelvic environment as a whole. Better circulation equals better prostate resilience. Better prostate resilience equals better nerve function. Better nerve function equals more reliable erections. It is all one system. If this is helping clarify how everything in the pelvis is interconnected, remember to stay engaged and keep learning. In the next section, we will explore a simple, evidence-based daily routine for integrating these fruits safely and effectively to support long-term male vitality. Now that we have explored how circulation, oxidative stress, hormonal balance, endothelial function, and prostate health all interact, let us bring everything together into a simple, practical daily routine. This is the part where many men experience a genuine shift because complexity becomes clarity. You do not need extreme regimens or complicated supplementation. You simply need consistency, intention, and a routine aligned with how the male body functions after 50. Here is what the research shows. Studies from Harvard, the National Institutes of Health, and the American Urological Association consistently demonstrate that small, sustained dietary changes have far greater long-term impact than aggressive short-term interventions. It is the daily rhythm of your habits that shapes your vascular health, hormonal stability, and pelvic resilience. With that in mind, let us build a routine that supports these systems naturally. Begin your day with one serving of berries. Blueberries, strawberries, or blackberries offer some of the highest polyphenol concentrations of any fruit. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition showed that men who consumed flavonoid-rich berries several times per week had a significantly lower risk of erectile dysfunction. These compounds help neutralize early morning oxidative stress, which tends to be elevated when cortisol levels are naturally higher. Think of this as giving your body an antioxidant shield from the moment you start your day. Midday is a great time to incorporate citrus fruit. Oranges, grapefruit, or even a simple lemon added to water provide vitamin C, hesperidin, and other bioactive compounds that support vascular elasticity. Citrus flavonoids have been shown to improve blood pressure, enhance endothelial function, and assist nitric oxide pathways. Imagine this as a midday tune-up, helping your circulation stay flexible and responsive as you move through the day. In the evening, integrate pomegranate. Whether you choose fresh seeds, juice, or extract, pomegranate is one of the most researched fruits for male sexual health. Studies from UCLA and Mayo Clinic show improvements in endothelial function, increased nitric oxide availability, and reductions in prostate-related oxidative stress. Evening intake works well because the body enters a recovery-oriented phase during nighttime. Pomegranate compounds support cellular repair, reduce inflammation, and enhance blood flow during these restorative hours. If you prefer a more structured approach, you can think of it as a simple daily triad. Berries in the morning for antioxidant defense, citrus at midday for vascular support, pomegranate in the evening for blood flow and prostate wellness. It is easy, sustainable, and aligned with your natural physiological rhythms. You can enhance this routine with hydration, regular walking, and pelvic floor relaxation practices. Even 10 to 20 minutes of daily walking improves circulation to the pelvis and supports endothelial function. Gentle stretches or pelvic floor relaxation exercises reduce tension, allowing blood to move more freely. None of these habits require extreme commitment, but when practiced daily, they work together to build a stronger foundation. The real secret is consistency. These fruits do not work through sudden spikes. They work through accumulation. Day after day, they protect your blood vessels, reduce oxidative load, support hormone pathways, ease prostate stress, and keep the pelvic system stable. Over months, men often report improved morning energy, stronger libido, more reliable erections, and greater confidence. If you are finding this guidance helpful and grounding, feel free to engage with the video. Your participation brings this information forward for more men who need clarity. When you are ready, we will move into the conclusion and tie the full session together with one clear takeaway you can start today. As we bring this session together, I want you to step back and look at the larger picture of what we have explored. Sexual health after 50 is not defined by decline. It is defined by adaptation. Your body is shifting, not failing. Circulation changes, hormones rebalance, and the prostate becomes more sensitive to inflammation. These shifts are real, but they are also manageable, predictable, and strongly influenced by daily choices. You are not at the mercy of age. You are in a position to support your body in ways that research consistently shows to be effective. Here is what the science makes clear. Erections depend on healthy blood flow, and blood flow depends on the endothelial system being flexible and responsive. Oxidative stress interferes with this pathway, but antioxidants found in berries, citrus fruits, and pomegranate help protect nitric oxide and keep your circulation strong. Hormonal balance is not only about increasing testosterone, it is about creating the internal environment that allows testosterone to function properly. Again, certain fruits play a meaningful role in reducing inflammation, lowering visceral fat, and improving metabolic stability. And your prostate, which shares blood vessels, nerves, and signaling pathways with your erectile system, functions best when inflammation is low and circulation is high. These fruits help support that too. Across every study we discussed, one message repeats itself. Small, consistent habits matter more than intense, temporary efforts. A serving of berries each morning, a citrus fruit midday, pomegranate in the evening. Over time, these choices strengthen your vascular foundation, support hormone pathways, ease prostate strain, and stabilize your overall vitality. This is not guesswork. This is physiology. You deserve clarity, not confusion. You deserve information that respects you as an intelligent adult navigating real concerns. You deserve to understand your body without fear or shame. Many men wait too long to take their health seriously because they think the changes they are feeling are a personal failure. They are not. They are common, treatable, and often reversible when you align your habits with how your body works. So here is the one action you can start today. Choose one fruit from the daily triad and make it part of your routine. Just one. When that becomes normal, add the next. Progress happens through consistency, not perfection. Every step you take strengthens the foundation beneath your sexual health, your energy, and your confidence. You do not need to be afraid of your body. You simply need good information and a plan that supports the physiology you already have. Stay curious, stay informed, and keep taking responsibility for your health in ways that empower you. If you want grounded, shame-free guidance based on real clinical experience, consider subscribing. I look forward to seeing you in the next session where we continue building your understanding one clear, evidence-based step at a time.